Hey guys, just give me a moment. Hey everybody, is there sound? Hello, Deborah. Deborah's SC Zulu. Really? It's not clear? Please tell me if it's clear. Not clear? I thought it was. Goodness. Not clear, somebody says. How is it not clear? I've got it all, I've amped it all the way up. Why not do some music in the background? Well, I'm working on that. It's clear now, somebody said. Okay, guys, it's loud and clear. Thank you. I came in today. It's a Sunday, as all of you know, and typically I don't come to work on Sunday. But the young guys that I asked to come here and help me set up my cameras could only meet me on a Sunday. So I had to leave home, come to the office, and see if they can help me set it up. So I'm about to go home, and I figured, let me give you my 2 cents worth before I leave. That's, you see, therein lies the conundrum of the vlogger. The vlogger always has an opinion and always wants to be heard. Rightly or wrongly, that's just the way we are built. Okay. So before I leave, I'm fixing to go back home now. I never hardly ever come through on a Sunday. Usually I'm always home with the family. It's my only day off. Sunday is the only day off. But here I am hanging out with you guys on a Sunday afternoon. Okay, on a serious note, I just wanted to share something with you that all of us are concerned about. Let me preface by saying the real news yesterday, again, I have to reiterate, the real crux of the news yesterday was the debacle between the Kalimanshi group and the other camp. That was the real news. I think people are being disingenuous by ignoring that component of that event, hoping that it'll just be wished away. Let me tell you, it will not be wished away. Now, I know there are many of you on here, you love to say, but Mwewa, why are you talking about it? It is the people like you who are talking about it. Well, the reason we're talking about it is because the situation is still in play. Today, all of you have heard this recording of a barrage of threats that has come down from the Kalimanshi group, the Kalimanshi faction. And these are vile threats. I mean, these are threats that are aimed, that are designed to instill fear in not only the general public, but fear in their enemies and their opponents. And I must tell you that we are wrong. We are absolutely in denial when we gloss over this and ignore it and act as if it doesn't exist. Folks, this is a clear and present danger. And I would urge, as any normal, well-meaning citizen would do, I would urge the authorities, the police, to contain this situation, to come down with a heavy hand, not use kitty gloves, use everything at their disposal to extinguish this uprising, because that's what it is. It is a volcano that is waiting to erupt, and if we don't do anything about it, and when I say we, I'm talking about the relevant authorities, namely the police, because the police are the custodians of peace. I mean, that's what we were taught when we were kids. The police are the custodians of peace, law, and order. When you have a society that disregards the police, or a society that is anti-police, then you've got a problem on your hands. You have a powder keg in your hand. The police are the only people who are mandated to deal with this problem and deal with it conclusively, holistically, and comprehensively. You must know this. So a group of guys today issued some threats, and they mentioned names. Because, you know, the thing is, the guys in the Green camp, they all know one another. They all do. They all know one another. Even if you cover your face just from the way you walk, the guys in the camp, they know exactly who you are. They know exactly where you live. They know exactly who you hang out with. And so these threats against these guys that descended on Kalimanshi are clear and present danger. Now, earlier today, I wrote an article, and I know I read many of you. You've said on there, but well, you're one-sided. I was talking about a militia, because make no mistake, what's going to start happening now, and this is not a prophecy, guys. Guys, don't be so spiritually minded that you are no earthly good. There are certain things that just take common sense. Common sense will tell you where you've gone wrong. You don't need a so-called prophet, a so-called papa to tell you that thus and so, etc., is going to happen. You don't need a prophet of doom. All you need is common sense. 5 senses will tell you that something is amiss. Something's just not right with this conflagration, with this conflict that has the potential to erupt into something bigger. Now, you are foolish if you think that by ignoring it, it'll go away. Guys, it's not just going to go away. The only way it'll go away is if the relevant authority, in this case, the police, Bakanganja, I'm asking you, I beseech you, come down on this issue like a ton of bricks. Contain these guys. Extinguish this conflict, because you have the power, you have the wherewithal, you have the dexterity, you have the machinery, you have the instruments at your disposal to contain this situation and to make sure that the people of Zambia are safe. It's on you. And we're looking to you to do that. The average Zambian citizen shouldn't have to take matters into his own hands for the sake of protecting oneself. Not in every case. That's the reason the police are there. So let's pull our heads out of the clouds and plant our feet on the ground and deal with this situation. You know what amazes me? It amazes me yesterday that all the mainstream media largely ignored that incident yesterday. Mainstream media. What the heck is all that about? I mean, talk about burying your head in the sand. Talk about ignoring the obvious. Talk about shirking the responsibility off onto others. Mainstream media yesterday largely ignored that incident, and they acted as if it didn't exist. It didn't happen. And yet it did. It did. And if you think that you can sweep it under the rug and just hope that it goes away and hope that it disappears, you're wrong. The only way it's going to disappear is if there is a deliberate policy to aggressively deal with the issue and grab the issue by the horns. That's it. Grab the bull by the horns. Then you can say you'll deal with it. But if you tiptoe through the tulips, if you sit there twiddling your thumbs, if you sit there singing Kumbaya, it's going to grow. And it's going to spread like wildfire. And by the time you realize it, it'll be too late. Too late! Let's not be named amongst them that didn't act on time. Let's not do that. Let's be patriotic Zambian citizens that love this nation so much that we will stand up and say, let's not go down this direction. Let's contain the chaos. One last thing I need to mention to you before I go, and man, this broke my heart. Saw a videotape. Many of you seen that. It's a group of young people, young Zambians. Oh man, I tell you. Nensele. Eri abayichi baratuka nense katwishinga basambira kwisensele. Insele shidye shivi. Ifwe de twade kula ifwe. And I know I sound like an old fuddy-duddy when I say that. Because, when I say things like that, many of you, no, Mwewa, you are just a dinosaur. You are antiquated. Things have changed, Mwewa. When I was growing up, I know that sounds antiquated. I sound like a fossil when I say that, but it's the truth. When I was growing up, conductor the Kenya to Kensele, the Kenya to K. As if there's no tomorrow. Insele shiref mamukanwa yaba ichava. Abalumendo. Batoki bakadoli. Utwa ichefye insele kutinga na tukana. Na koela na tukana. Insele shidye shibi. There's a videotape that's circulating now. It shows a group of young people. It doesn't show their faces because now they realize that, everything we say and do is being recorded and watched. Everything we say and do and perpetrate is being recorded and watched. So let's be careful. That's their mindset. So you don't see their faces because they are cognizant of the cyber laws, cyber crime bill, cyber law. They all know this. Of course, they don't know the intricate details of the cyber crimes bill and law, but they know enough to not show their faces on camera now. These kids have sussed this system out. So here it is. You have a videotape that's going around now. It's everywhere. Everywhere. It's in WhatsApp groups. It's on Facebook. Goodness, it's everywhere. Everywhere you turn, you see this video. And I'm telling you, it's a precursor to what is to come. It's a videotape, young people gathering around, and they've got the regalia from the red camp, and they're throwing this political regalia that allegedly some printing company printed. And the story, the narration is that these kids grabbed this merchandise, because that's what it is, it's merchandise. And they started, in the videotape, you can see it, these kids throwing this regalia. in fire, throwing this regalia in a pile of, in a, I was going to say a pile of fire. Is that correct? Throwing this regalia in some embers. There you go. Is that, I'm not even sure if that's right. Correct me if I'm wrong. I laugh, but there's nothing to laugh about. I sound facetious, but there's nothing to be facetious about. Because let me tell you, as much as we abhor that act of throwing clothes, political regalia, political colors into a lake of fire, you and I may think that's funny now, but there's coming a time when those T-shirts, those items of clothing will no longer be items of clothing. They will be people. People. Well, you think chaos happens by spontaneous combustion? No, sir. It's gradual. It gnaws at peace. Chaos emerges triumphant when it grows exponentially. It grows quietly. It gnaws and eats and chews systematically. And by the time you get to the end, it's pure chaos. So when you look at those images of young Zambians, oh my goodness. You know, can I sidetrack for a moment? Let me sidetrack for a moment. Look, and this is going to sound insensitive, but I'll go ahead and say it. I found this to be true. This has been my experience. When you have a generation, a youthful generation with no father figure, a young man that has no father figure or no strong mother figure in his life that navigates, that helps that child navigate through life, teaches that child wrong from right. When you have a father figure that is absent, that's what happens. That's the reason you have all these kids that are, you know, they cuss up a storm, boy. Then say fulu mukanwa. If you're feeling. No father figure, no mother figure. Of course, there's some families, single parent families. But if you don't have a strong guardian in the home, that's what happens. And it's a sad place to be. So, and these are kids. I mean, the kids in the video are no more than 25 years old, if that. And I think that's a stretch, possibly 21, 22 max. And these are the young people. Now, the other thing that amazes me is, perchance, if you had the opportunity to sit with one or two or more of these kids in the video, sit down with them and ask them. You don't have to ask them in English, just ask them what you mean. So, njeba political ideology over. What is your political ideology? They will look at you like a calf looking at a new gate. They will look at you like a buzzard in the desert. They won't know what you're talking about. They'll say, political China. What is your political belief? What is your political conviction? Nothing. Tapari, tabai, shiva. Vai shafiensele. No kulwa. No kuma. Chapwa. But you ask them to articulate their political ideology. even in their native tongue. Teti bakwanishe. Teti bakwanishe, they can't manage. Why? Tabafishiba. Baishfafie insele no lubuli ne chimfulunganya. Epela, as my mother would say. Epela. Oh boy. Oh dear. Anyway. Well, hey guys, I gotta go home. I can't hang out with you guys. I'm going home. It's a Sunday. I'm not supposed to be here on a Sunday. Okay. All right. Let me read this comment here. Chewe Mubiana. Chewe Mubiana says, quite interesting how you're skirting around the issue, Mwewa. This problem is a PF problem. I remember you hosted Madam Nalumango and discussed the issue of violent PF cutters. This issue quite clearly represents the terror that the PF will unleash on the Zambians. Call it out for what it is. State-sponsored terrorism. This happened at their secretariat. That's Chewe Mubiana. The problem is kids have kids. That's also a problem. I mean, these kids are messed up. It's incredible, you know. Terry says, truly, this generation of absentee parental guidance is accursed. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's crazy. Martin says, next thing we will see them burning people. Now, folks, you know, there's some people that might consider this type of talk alarmist talk. Well, you know what they say, everything is clearer in hindsight. If the police do not contain this situation, it will only be in hindsight that we will look back and say, I wish we did something. I wish we were more aggressive. I wish we grabbed the bull by the horns. I wish more was said and done. I wish. The time is now. Every Zambian citizen should preach peace, love, oneness. Yes, we're in a political year. So what? It's not the be all and end all. The date will be announced, the 12th of August. The players will participate. The participants will be on the ballot. The people will decide. We'll get through it. There is another side to this election. It's life after the election. So let's not lose sight of that. Let's not think that the elections are the be all and end all. No. Come on, guys. There is life after the election. So what? That we have an election. There's 2022 coming after the elections. So let's be patriotic. Let's not kill each other because I have a difference with you or you have a difference with me politically. We don't have to kill each other. Come on, guys, we're better than that. We're much better than that. All right, I gotta go. I gotta go. Thanks for watching. God bless.